1990, the fall of Russian communism. Much has changed since those first days of freedom, but scratch the surface and you'll find much that looks different today isn't really much of a change at all. The Soviet secret police, the Russian mafia. Lines for food, lines for tables. In the new Russia, everything is for sale. But when privatization extends to yet untouched resources and lands owned by all the Russian people, there's one new Russian you'll never find far away, Vera Mischenko.
According to our constitution and the Russian legislation, our government is obliged to protect nature resources and people's health for future generations.
Vera Mischenko is a lawyer by training, a conservationist by choice. The daughter of two attorneys, she helped found the pro bono Russian network of environmental lawyers. Mischenko is based in Moscow, where in 1991, she co-founded the Eco-Juris Institute, the first public interest law organization in Russia.
People in the local regions, as well as the local governments, definitely, and the federal government, are very intrigued and attracted by the idea of all the money they can make. And so they will do all that they can, change the laws, get rid of the laws, just simply ignore the laws in order to promote the corporate interests. Eco-Juris has been very open in calling out the government when it chooses to ignore the laws that are on the books and chooses to ignore citizen rights.
Now, new companies, mostly multinationals, come in here, try to get more resources, and of course, mostly resources are settled in the places which are not polluted yet.
The enormous area of available land in a country that spans 6 time zones has opened the doors to opportunism and greed.
The Russian government has been opening up natural resources to transnational companies at a fantastic rate and have been selling off these resources really at fire sale prices, which means that these huge pristine areas of taiga and Siberia and in the Russian Far East that had been protected largely because they were so isolated for so long are now being opened up to very rapid exploitation.
But when natural exploration becomes resource exploitation, Eco-Juris goes to work. Mischenko and her colleagues have taken on a variety of diverse issues: forestry encroachment, health rights, illegal land use. Even the federal parliament, the Duma, today seeks her counsel in drafting environmental legislation. When a private company started building a high-speed railroad line between Moscow and St. Petersburg, Mischenko and her associates filed a complaint with the Constitutional Court.
Many thousand square kilometers of first group forest was going to be cut.
After 6 long years of Eco-Juris campaigning, President Boris Yeltsin finally derailed the project. At the top of Vera Mischenko's list today is the oil-rich island of Sakhalin on Russia's Pacific coast.
Our legislation absolutely prohibits to discharge waste into the sea.
Several multinational corporations are actively seeking to develop oil reserves in Sakhalin. Eco-Juris became involved very early in all of this and have really followed the projects together with local activists on Sakhalin and demanded that there be environmental expertises along the way.
On behalf of 30 Russian grassroots environmental organizations and hundreds of Russian citizens, Eco-Juris fought the decree all the way to the Russian Supreme Court. Their victory against Western drilling operations is the first in her country that involved the interests of multinational corporations. Everywhere Vera Mischenko goes, it seems, she leaves behind her a new environmental law center, an indigenous rights group, a fledgling NGO. But she is never content to rest on past accomplishments.
Everybody says we should protect nature for future generations, but I say let's protect nature for nature itself, because it's nature.
For outstanding environmental achievement in Europe, the year 2000 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Vera Mischenko of Moscow, Russia.